Well, hello there. Today we're going to be talking about proportion word problems. Now, these are word problems that require us to set up and solve proportions. You're going to know you have a proportion word problem if somewhere in the problem you are given a complete ratio. To solve these kinds of problems, we're first going to have to set up a fraction for the given ratio. Then we're going to have to set up a second corresponding fraction to the other ratio. We'll set the two things equal to each other, cross multiply, and solve like your normal solving proportions procedures. I bet you're wondering, what the heck does he mean by corresponding fraction? Let me give you a little example so you can get an idea of how this works. Let's say that the problem gives you the ratio of 7 blue cars for every 10 red cars. The most logical way to set up a fraction for this ratio is 7 over 10. Now, I want you to realize that 7 implies 7 blue cars, right? The top of our fraction here is supposed to be representative of blue cars. So, when we go to set up our second fraction, our corresponding fraction, we want to make sure that relationship holds. We want to make sure that the blue cars go in the top and however many red cars we have goes in the bottom. Understand, however, that in your second fraction, you're not going to know all the information. That's kind of the point of the whole problem. So, wherever you don't know what the value is, just replace it with a variable. Let's take a look at this first example here to figure out what I'm talking about. Our problem reads, a recipe calls for 2 parts crushed almonds to every 5 parts chocolate chips. A woman is attempting to make the recipe. If she plans to use 12 ounces of chocolate chips, how many ounces of almonds will she need? We know this is a proportion problem thanks to this ratio right here, 2 parts almonds to 5 parts chocolate chips. We'll set up a fraction for this ratio. The most logical one is 2 over 5. The problem also tells us that she's going to be using 12 ounces of chocolate chips, and it wants to know how many ounces of almonds is she going to need. Next, we need to set up a corresponding fraction for the fraction that we wrote down here. In this fraction, almonds goes in the top and chocolate chips goes in the bottom. Now, since I don't know how many almonds I need yet, I'm going to represent that with a variable. Let's choose the letter A because why not? It makes perfect sense, right? A for almonds. Once again, this A is going to go in the top of the fraction because that's where almonds go, right? 2 parts almonds. I'm going to put in the bottom here the 12 ounces of chocolate chips I need because 5 stands for 5 parts chocolate chips. Next, we're going to set the two things equal to each other, and then we're going to solve for A because that's going to tell us the number of ounces of almonds we need. We get 5A is equal to 24. We have ourselves a routine one-step solving equation here, so we'll divide both sides by 5 to get rid of that 5 times A, and we get A is equal to 24/5, also known in decimal form as 4.8, like we see here. Now we're going to write out a sentence because it's always good to answer the question in a complete sentence. It shows people you know what you're talking about. This lady, she's going to need 4.8 ounces of, what kind of food are we talking about here, folks? Well, technically crushed almonds, but almonds is good enough here. There you go. Set up a fraction for the given ratio, set up a corresponding fraction, cross multiply, and solve. Next example. The floral department of a grocery store sells certain bouquets with 18 red roses and 12 white roses. One customer requests a smaller bouquet that has only 6 red roses. If the customer wants to keep the ratio of red roses to white roses the same, how many white roses will need to be in the smaller bouquet? Start by looking for that ratio. I can see pretty clearly here that we have 18 red roses to 12 white roses. We'll set up a fraction for that. 18 over 12 seems to make the most sense in this situation. Next, I see that I have 6 red roses, so I'm going to set up a corresponding fraction. Since red roses went in the top of that one, I'm going to put it in the top of my corresponding fraction. There's the 6. I need to know how many white roses, so I don't know exactly how many. We will use the variable W for that. We put that in the bottom because that's where white roses went in the first fraction. Cross multiply like usual. We get 18W is equal to 12 times 6 is 72. We will divide both sides by 18, and that's going to give us W is equal to 4. Get ready, journalists. It's time to do a little bit of reporting. We are going to write our answer in a complete sentence. The bouquet will have 4 white roses. Beautiful. Now, whoever's reading this is going to know that we were paying attention to what we were doing. Fantastic. So hopefully you were paying attention here and you noticed that these types of problems really didn't take a whole lot of effort on our part. They look kind of imposing because they're word problems, but really it's just identifying, 3 pieces of information and then calling the fourth a variable? I don't know about you, but that's not a whole lot of information for me to contend with, and I don't think I'm being a smarty pants with that one, folks. Once you see that you have a complete ratio in the problem, that's your clue that this is a proportion word problem. Proceed by setting up a fraction for the given ratio. Then what you're going to do is set up a corresponding fraction such that the top and the bottom of that fraction have the same units as the top and the bottom of the original fraction respectively. Then you're going to plug in the rest of the information that the problem gave you. One of the things you're not going to be able to plug in. What do you do with that? You set it equal to a variable. Once you have your proportion set up, the 2 fractions with the equal sign, cross multiply and solve. And that's it. None of these problems took us more than 30 seconds if you consider the actual work that we did. So, if you're finding that you're struggling with this, there's a pretty good chance that you're making it more complicated than it needs to be. Of course, if you practice, then all those struggles are going to go out the window because you're going to get used to doing it. Take it from me, folks. Little time goes a long, long way. Adios.